Good morning, everybody. My name is Eric Reed, and this is Success Life Live. What is Success Life Live? Well, it's my intention to be able to add value to you each and every day, to find a way of giving you something to maybe grow or shift or even change your mind in order to lead you on to your success. Because as a success coach is kind of my thing. It's like, I know from personal experience and that experience of my clients that if we can get up in the morning and get our minds going in the right direction, get our thinking in the right thinking, get the things going in the direction that we want, we're going to have a higher level of success. And so that's why we have Success Life Live. Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, Patricia. Good to have you. Good evening, good afternoon, Carl. I'm lost on what time it is. I'm just going to guess, it's probably past lunchtime at least. So good midday. We'll go with that. I hope everybody is having a great morning and a great start. I want to do some quick housekeeping things and then we're going to get started on today's lessons. Good morning, Susan. Good to have you in the house for Success Life Live. So many of you from so many of you from so many places. It's always fun when people post where they're at, where they're from, what they're doing kind of thing. So Wednesday, tomorrow night, is Author Talk. And we have Barb Gustafson. Yeah, I had to bring back my Minnesota accent for Barb Gustafson. Her book, Bold, Permission to Be Bold, a guide to loving yourself, living fully, and leaving your mark on the world. It was a great read. I'm really excited. I've got a bunch of questions for her from the book. Just really about understanding bold and bold living and bold actions and bold thinking and bold dreaming. And so I hope you'll join us tomorrow evening, Wednesday at 7 p.m. We are wrapping up the I Love or I Am journey for the month of February. Remember February, we talked about learning to love ourselves, learn how to love by learning to love ourselves first. My experience has always been that when we are able to see our value, we begin to see the value in others. And it really just raises the whole leadership success game to a new level. And so we spent the month of February writing I am statements about who we are, what our qualities, what our characteristics, what our values are, so that we could have it available when we needed it. We could have it as a resource to remind us of ourselves. And so if you didn't get it downloaded and you didn't get the worksheet that goes with it, that's at ericgreed.com/February 2019. You can download that. It'll probably come down March 1st just because it's no longer February. But, it's something you can do over and over again. I do this quite often with my kids. We'll sit down and we'll do I am statements about who we are and what our beliefs are and what our values are. Because they're in that young and tender 8 and 9-year-old age. They're in that space where we can mold and model who they believe they are. Many of us grew up with a negative sort of voice in our head. May have come from our parents. It may come from our siblings, uncles, aunts, teachers, whatever. And we allowed that to seep in and take hold. And that's one of the demons that we're battling now as adults, trying to change our lives, grow our lives, turn our lives into something more. And so I'm going to start planting those seeds early in my kids' mind, and I'm going to start digging up the old ones and replacing them in my own mind. And that's kind of the lesson for today about obstacles. And are you allowing obstacles to become the barriers to your dreams and to your success? Now, the idea that the obstacle is the way, and I put a little meme in earlier this morning, or I don't know, is it a meme or a GIF? I don't know. What is it when you use a picture and you put words on it? Somebody will have to help me out with that. But anyhow, it's down below. And I said the obstacle is the way. And what I mean by that is so often we will get programmed into thinking, I can't do it because, and we'll claim some obstacle, whether the obstacle is from our history or our circumstances around us. And we'll say, I can't do it because I don't have time. I can't do it because of the kids. I can't do it because of the money. I can't do it because in my past I failed, or I didn't finish college, or I don't have that degree, or that certification, or that training, or that upbringing, or whatever. And we'll start to say, I can't. And we'll create all of these obstacles like pickets on a fence that prevent us from going to the place that we want to go in our life, whether it's in our fitness or our finances, whether it's in our relationships or our faith and our business. And I'm telling you, the obstacle is the way. What do I mean? Well, the obstacle is the way is that thing that you've created, that thing that you've built, that thing that you paid homage and memorialized and built up to such a large degree is actually the one thing that's going to move you to your success. If you're constantly saying, well, I can't because I don't have time, and the obstacle for me achieving my success, creating the change in my life that I want, acquiring my dream, is the lack of time. Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. That obstacle is actually the ticket to you achieving it. Once you learn to manage and master time, once you learn to reclaim time, guess what? You're halfway to your success. If you say, oh, well, I can't define obstacle education. Well, good morning, Elizabeth. Buenos dias, Luis. I saw Al jump in as well. Good morning. Glad to have you guys in the room. We're talking about obstacles and how we've allowed these obstacles to define who we are. We pull them from our past. We pull them from the conditions around us. And we allow them to take over our thinking. And I'm telling you that the obstacle is actually the way. The obstacle that you've allowed to define you is actually the way that you're going to create your success. Why? Because when you're able to see that obstacle as an opportunity, you're able to dive in and take hold of it and say, oh, wait a minute. I'm a master of time. I can now relate to people who don't have that discipline. I've learned how to discipline my time so I can now discipline my diet, my finance, my thinking, my words, my actions. I used to believe that I needed a certification in education, a PhD, and I allowed that to be becoming an obstacle to me achieving my success. But what I realized is now that obstacle, I've learned how to learn. I've learned how to become a lifelong learner. I've learned how to achieve success by acquiring knowledge in process. So that obstacle is now the fuel that guides and keeps me on track. That obstacle is saying, well, you don't understand my age, my gender, my race, my religion, my faith, whatever is preventing it. No, because I understand that people have a perception about me based on those things, I now understand that I carry perceptions about others based on what I see. And now I can look past that and connect and communicate at a higher level. Whatever obstacle you tried to send to me, if you just, like my obstacle is, and you typed it in below, I could probably tell you how that obstacle is actually the ticket to you achieving what you want to achieve. How you've allowed it to define you as an obstacle instead of an opportunity. How you've sat there so long in your little, oh, you don't understand song that you don't realize that if you just took the time and broke it apart, decomposed it, deconstructed it, turned it inside out, you'd be like, you know what? I can use this. I can use this as fuel. I can use this as a focus point. I can use this as the starting point to transformation. If you're trying to lose weight and you're like, well, you don't understand. I've got bad knees. I can't walk, so therefore I can't get healthy. Really? Because my knees have nothing to do with what goes in and out of my mouth. Oh, wait a minute. I've allowed this obstacle to define my entire existence, my entire story. And as soon as I start to manage this thing going in and out of my mouth, I'll start to lose weight and I'll be able to exercise sitting. And then pretty soon I'll begin to stand up and sit down and stand up and sit down. And pretty soon my knees won't feel the weight that it used to. And my knees will gain health. And I'll be able to walk across the room, then down the street and around the block and then run a marathon. But no, I've allowed this obstacle. Oh, I have bad knees. That's why I can't lose the weight I want to lose to be healthy for my wife, for my spouse, for my grandchildren, for my business. Really? Let's not get focused on the obstacle. Let's look at the opportunities that are around us and say, okay, I'm taking my focus off the obstacle. I'm going to stop living that story. I'm going to stop letting that define me. And I'm going to start to use that as a way around. I love people that are getter-overs, getter-rounders, getter-throughers. The ones that will stop and go, okay, I see the problem. I acknowledge the problem. I see the obstacle, but that doesn't mean I'm stopping. I don't want you to be a stopper. I don't want you to get stuck on your obstacles. I don't want you to live focused on the obstacle. I want you to focus on the obstacle as the opportunity that you need to grow. If you're like, my bank account is at -000, whew, what a lovely place to start, because every dollar that you add is 100% increase. If you're like, look, I am so broke that I can't even, then wow, what a great way to start. You don't even have to balance a checkbook. You just need to add stuff to it. There's always an opportunity, but stop looking at the obstacle. Stop claiming the obstacle as your reason that you can't have what you want to have, and start claiming the obstacle is the starting point for what you're going to achieve next in your life. All right? We can do this thing. We can do this thing. Success ain't easy, but ooh, I heard somebody once say, it is sweet. And so stop allowing your obstacle to become the defining point. See the obstacle as the way. All right? And so if you want to talk further, just reach out and connect to me. Reach out and connect to me. Don't forget, Wednesday is Author Talk with Barb Gustafson. See, I love my Minnesota accent. Barb Gustafson. You know, it's funny when you live up north, you ask, is it an O or an E? And everybody knows that means, is it a sen or a son? Gustafson. But her book, Permission to be Bold, A Guide to Loving Yourself, Living Fully, and Leaving Your Mark on the World. Loved it. If there's others of you that are in the process of writing a book, have finished a book, let me know. I'd love to read it. I typically read a book like this in a few hours. And then I go back and I highlight it a few more times. But I love reading, and I love more speaking to authors about their books and about what they created and why they were driven to create it and what they hope it will be as a legacy to others. So if you know authors, tell them to connect to me. If you are an author, connect to me. We'll work it out. Don't forget, got one more day of the I am statements. Go ahead, and if you miss days, if you started late, if you're off track, guess what? This is between you and you. Figure out your starting point and make it happen. There's an explanation and a worksheet attached. Just go to ericgreed.com/February 2019. It'll be there and ready for you. Working on March's stuff and working on a whole bunch of other things. So we're going to start seeing stuff compiling up and pushing forward. So until I get a chance to talk to you tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern, go out and live your success. It is yours. You are worthy of it. Bye-bye, everybody. Hey, good morning, Tom. Good morning to me. I think I saw Gail jump in as well. So many of you guys jump in, and it's always sort of like, when do you interrupt and say hi? So I want to take a moment and say hi to you. And if you're watching in the replay, say hi to everybody that jumped in and joined. Take a minute and share it out, because there's somebody that's allowed their obstacle to define who they are instead of letting their dreams define who they want to become. All right? Have a great day. I'll talk to you guys all tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.